well. No demon shall pass. No. No one's coming in that door with a demon under it. Amazing. Who is that? There we go. Eli is back. Back in business. I haven't seen him in a while. Hello, beautiful people. Woo! Let's open that mic up a little bit more. And yes, indeed. Woo! Don't need it that much. Okay. Hello. Good day, sir. Indeed. Doesn't seem all that straight to me. What's going on here? What is up, Eli?
Hello.
How you doing, my man?
Good to see you, brother. Hello, hello.
Hey, man. What's your name?
Tom.
Tom. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Sam.
What's your name?
Eli, nice to meet you, Tom. How's it going, brother? Yeah, man. Oh, good to see you. It's been a while.
Yes, it has.
I actually was gonna come here last week, and then I missed my flight,
Uh-huh.
so I wasn't able to come. I came the next day,
Damn, man.
but it's all good. I mean, no,
Life happens.
true.
All that matters is that you're here now.
True,
We're still alive, still taking those nice breaths,
There you go.
smiling. Tom, how'd you hear about the workshop?
Someone sent me to the WhatsApp chat.
Ah.
I just joined in.
Cool. Okay. Amazing. Happy to have you. Yeah, guys. This is I know you two weren't here last week.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right. We did programming, and this week is conditioning.
Okay.
So it's like kind of like a part two, but it'll still be good. It's not really a part two, but this is probably the stuff that where most people kind of slip.
Well, I try to program myself every single day, so.
Right. The programming
guess.
is one thing, but then conditioning that program. That's like making sure it's like consistent.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. What's up, Greg?
Hello.
Man, how was travels?
Good, tired.
Yeah, I bet.
How's it going, man? We've been chatting on Messenger.
Oh,
How's it going?
Nice to meet you.
Greg.
Eli.
nice to meet you.
No wifey today?
No, she's getting some content done.
Nice. Good birthday though last weekend.
Yeah, good time.
Love it. That's good to hear. How old is she turning?
30.
30, big 30.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's nice.
How's she feel?
Good, good. Yeah, everything's good, man. What about you?
Yeah, just staying here. You know, I've been here. I went back to the States for when you were just getting. I think you were just getting in town.
Yeah, yeah.
And now, yeah, I'm just chilling out here for the next few months. Obviously, to the end of the year, I would say, and we'll see what happens. Don't know what plans are, you know. Just
Yeah,
kind of rock and roll with whatever it is.
That's the way to be. How was home?
No, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, great timing to go back, just before any election stuff,
Yeah.
and then also in the middle of a great seasonal summer, like right before,
before the
autumn
cold.
and like right as summer is ending. So it's like still warm out, but also gets chilly. Oh man, I loved it.
And you just went to Minnesota, or you went other places too?
Just Minnesota and Wisconsin.
Okay.
yeah, that was pretty much it for me. And yeah, I loved it. I was pretty much just hanging out with family the whole time, and that was solid for me.
It's amazing. Yeah, we'll end up back. We'll end up there sometime.
Yeah.
Her visa just it just keeps getting pushed back. The interview date. So it was supposed to be already. It said estimated 5 months, like 8 months ago, and then all of a sudden in 5 months it said another 9 months. So
Wow.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm not in any rush to go. I mean, obviously
Right.
there's things I miss, family and shit, but we may meet them in like Japan in a few months or something.
You just been hanging out in Asia then,
Yeah,
Southeast?
we just was in Bangkok last, and Malaysia before that, Sri Lanka before that. Yeah, just keep moving.
Yeah.
But we were called to come back here and kind of just get some work done, ground down, focus on health, and
The spirit.
yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Happy to have you here.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Well, we'll get. And there's a few people that were going to be coming, and so we'll get. Usually, people that come here are kind of late. I mean, you two are new, and usually the new people always show up early, which is awesome. But then the returners kind of show up like as they like.
Yeah, you look like you've been filling it up in here. Getting a nice
Yeah.
amount of people, so it's awesome, huh?
Yeah, we've had, I think, maximum so far was like 22 or something, 21. Yeah, that was really awesome. It hasn't been like that. It was like once, and then it's also because I kept leaving.
Yeah,
So like the consistency of showing up every weekend. But I've been here now for full straight 4 weeks now, so yeah, I'm starting to see a lot of people come in. Like Tom randomly got added in.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's cool. I don't know how that.
I was expecting Tom. I just knew it. I had this intuition. He was coming. And
He manifested me.
Exactly. That's right. And there was actually someone that we have like a person that comes quite often. She's tuning in from the live stream right now.
Oh, all right. That's nice.
That's so cool.
I know, right? That's Trudy over there. She's the only viewer right now, which is cool though. And so, yeah, eventually, if you want to go on your own ways, obviously we all leave Denon. You can join on the live stream. Amazing. I think I see someone there. Yeah, but this is going to be a really good one today. Conditioning. I was just telling these two that last week we talked about like programming and like what are the actual steps to know what to program, and now this week is more on making that program conditioned. Ever since we had that spiritual thing with Dana, you told me about the word trying, and I was like, I've always kept that in my conscious ever since. It's been awesome.
Glad I lasted, man.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a hope word,
Yeah, I hear so many other people saying it. Everybody, I'm gonna try. No, not easy though, bro.
Oh, hi.
Long time no see.
Long time no see.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome. Thanks for coming back.
I'm here. Good to see you. Good.
Lynn is back, better than ever.
Yeah, back out of monk mode.
Back up already out of monk mode?
Yeah, practically. I was pretty much in a bad mental space, but now I just blocked out everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Been a
beautiful.
while, yeah. No phone, no distraction.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's easier said than
Is your business online though?
no, I'm teaching in school.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I'm not. That I don't have to actually turn everything on to actually work.
How long were you without your phone?
For a week, and before I went to Germany, I did that too for quite a while.
Nice.
2 weeks, yeah. It's easier.
Wow.
When you get used to it, it's easier.
Hi. Hi, Greg.
Oh man, I want to do
Nice
that
to
so
see
bad.
you.
Yeah, yeah. Addiction is not good.
No,
Phone addiction.
phone is the
Yeah.
worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay. You get used to it. And yeah, once you delete everything, Facebook, Instagram.
I do, but then I download it
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what I said.
exactly.
Get rid of all of them. Like,
every
oh.
single day.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just check
I'm on the
it.
toilet now. Let's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
download Instagram. This is my time. It's like just can't sit with my thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brutal.
I find myself getting like it's super challenging as a creator
Yeah.
when you have to post on social media, and then as soon as you get on somewhere like TikTok, the first video is of course just like a monkey dancing with like, you know, something with like a jingle bell or something, you know,
Yeah.
so stupid, but it's just like
Yeah.
the visual thing.
Right.
Hi.
Distracting.
Yeah.
Maybe you can use an app that's not the social media apps that can post for you without having to go on it.
I have tried that. However, when it comes to the music
Yeah.
that you apply,
Right.
that is not an option.
Right. True.
It's like you have to attach the music beforehand, but then also there's like this whole thing where if you attach the music with like a trending audio or whatever, it's like
You're just gonna have to hire someone to be
yeah,
the
that's
for you.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
That's the plan. Social media
Outsource
manager.
your
Yeah.
Post from the laptop.
Yeah, it sometimes works. Not on TikTok though.
Yeah?
Yeah, you can post on
Oh,
TikTok, but like the music though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
TikTok is the worst.
It is the worst.
Even though you can build up your For You page, so I have pretty much a lot of psychology, philosophy, but
Yeah,
still, in between you get some politics and stuff. Oh no, I don't want to see that, especially in Germany. So yeah.
Literally, like TikTok, I mean, it's the same. Instagram, Facebook, it's all just throwing it at you.
Yeah,
What it
that's
is.
what I meant. And when I went to
Social
Germany,
media.
it came all crashing down again.
But yeah, TikTok, I feel like it's even more. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like really
Yeah,
just-
their algorithm is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's everyone
It
copied them,
hears
you know.
everything. It's so creepy. Once you talk about a topic, it comes on the For You page. It's so creepy.
It is.
Yeah.
It listens to every word you say.
Right. My roommate had a wedding, and just we were talking about how our group of friends that were going to be his best mates didn't have their suits, and we were talking about suits. I've never searched up suits online, and then I get on my phone like 10 minutes later, and there's already advertisements from
Yeah.
suits in Vietnam.
So creepy.
Also, if you text on WhatsApp, because WhatsApp is Facebook, they'll also know, just so you know.
And we all know this, and we're
Yeah.
just like, whatever.
That's why
No, nobody's listening to us.
It's so creepy.
Yeah.
But this is really overwhelming, and I'm sometimes thinking like I used to post a lot of stories on Instagram, and then I quit doing
So, brother.
that, and I feel sometimes I'm like my friends don't know what I'm doing and so on, but it's so much more less stressful. It just removed half of
Yeah.
stress,
Mhm.
and I feel like it's not super trendy, but this social media is really taking over everything, and I'm not sure when to be on that
Yeah,
boat.
same. That's why I deleted everything. And the weird thing is that all the algorithms from other people that you talk to on WhatsApp, on Instagram, they just start to synchronize with your For You page, so you get to see what others see. So once you share something, a video or I don't know, a post, then the other one would just say, yeah, I already saw that.
All by design.
Yeah.
Maybe this should be the topic for next week.
Yeah.
Social media.
How it
Social
just
manage it.
ruins us.
Yeah.
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 That's a good one. I like it. And I have tools that I've used, and like the conscious ability, and also how to not get in that sabotage, the guilt and the shaming of the self, right? Yeah, that's it.
It's a big FOMO machine. It's just what
Yeah.
it
It
is.
definitely is.
I only use it for business. That's it.
Yeah, of
No
course, me too.
Yeah.
That's why I want to become a creator, right? You know, it's like you can literally switch from being someone who just consumes the content
Absolutely.
and makes no, like, you just kind of get like I guess, no
Yeah.
benefit from it, and you just get depressed. And then you're also the opposite is creator, where you're just making, and then you make money. It's like what?
Become the drug dealer, not the drug consumer.
Yeah, it's true. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah, but you
waking
can
up
deal
having
with
to
drugs.
watch it.
One thing I will tell you guys, Facebook groups are a gold mine. If you have a business,
Yes.
do not sleep on that.
I agree.
Mhm.
100% of my business have come from Facebook groups.
Oh, thank you so much, because I left Instagram. I was so tired of it, and I seen like there's always so many guys following me, and I thought that's perfect because I'm gonna do the videos for the guys and like relationships. So I felt like I'm just accepting all these creeps.
Depends what is your business, you know?
Sorry?
Depends what is your business.
Yeah, so at the beginning I was really upset of all these followers, and then I thought like, no, that's great. I'm gonna have a, already people who's gonna watch my content.
Absolutely.
Because they press, they see nice girl, and then they not know like I'm gonna start talking different things. Maybe not so.
You know, Sam, a great topic would be what social media platform is best for business, which gets you the more eyeballs,
Well, we could just talk about
which
social
pays you
media.
the most per view.
Mhm.
And I'm hearing TikTok. I haven't been on TikTok at all, but I'm hearing from my people I know that TikTok is the bomb for this.
TikTok is good for
And
organic.
shorts.
Yeah.
YouTube shorts.
YouTube Shorts is also good, yeah.
Yes.
But Instagram and Facebook will be the best for ads, paid ads, rather than TikTok. Just have better algorithm, machine learning, and all
Okay.
that. But TikTok is very good for organic like exposure to get viral.
This is new to me, so I'm just getting to it. Yeah.
YouTube Shorts also is really good.
Some of my students are getting crazy. Like on a brand spanking new channel, they're getting 800 views within a week on shorts.
Yeah,
It's like, whoa!
Yeah.
yeah, YouTube Shorts is cool. Definitely. Twitter has its own thing. Now Threads
All of
is
them.
like the Twitter of Instagram also has its own thing.
Yeah.
They all have their own purpose and ways. You know.
Absolutely. It's not hijack your topic, then that could be another topic for next
Yeah,
week.
next week.
But don't do it when I'm gonna be away, okay?
Okay. We can talk about social media and all the pluses and minuses.
It's another one, Lemonade too. Lemonade. Has anyone seen
Lemonade?
that one? Lemonade.
Lemon 8?
It's like a lifestyle one. It seems to be growing.
Really?
Yeah, I see people growing on it. Lemon and then the number 8.
Oh,
It's here, I think, in that part of the world as well.
really?
I think TikTok owns it. I think
Is it?
it's part of TikTok. Yeah.
Interesting.
Is it on App Store?
Yeah.
Let me check
Well,
it.
For some reason, I can't even
Don't know
download
what
it
that
because
is.
it says it's not
Alright,
available
download
in
it.
my
That's
region.
it. I'm addicted.
now you're
One more,
Sorry.
one more.
Exactly, one
Sorry,
more.
or you're welcome. We'll see
Nah,
what
it's all
happens.
good. I want to check it for business, really.
Yeah,
We're
that's
talking about
amazing.
social media diet, and this guy comes, he's like, good job.
Well,
You're
guys,
the drug dealer.
let's get started, shall we? So today, for those of you who were here last week at U3, which is great, we have just a little bit more to talk about. The whole thing for programming was a 5-step process. The last round was round 6 that we didn't get to, and that's conditioning. If you look at a guitar or you look at a piano, you look inside the mechanics and the strings. What happens over time is you pluck them and they sound amazing. You program it to being very beautifully sounded. What happens over time is the strings get loose. So what do we have to do? We have to condition it. And that's what we're doing with ourself. We have to condition the strings inside of us to know what spots that we want to be at. And that's why last week we were talking about what it is that we want, where were we, what were those beliefs, what were those behaviors, those core neuro associations that led us to who we became to be today. Then we became to understand what do we want and why do we want it and what are the steps. All of that is the beginning of conditioning. The conditioned part is just being consistent on who you want to be. You have to know, obviously, first who it is that you want to be. Otherwise, you can't really condition yourself. You're just conditioning the same patterns, the same person. Because you guys have heard of compounding, the 8th wonder of the world, as Einstein said. You can compound in the wrong way. You also can compound in the very positive way that you want. Obviously we have the things that go on in our life that always kind of feel like 2 steps back, 1 step forward, or maybe 1 step back, 2 steps forward. That's inevitable. We need those struggles to get through and to learn, because what we are is what I believe as humans are we're adaptability creatures. Out of any other instinct for animals, they can, as you see a horse born, it knows how to run and jump immediately out of the womb. Humans, we're just knowing how to adapt to any sort of situation, experience, and change. So by conditioning, we're knowing with this idea coming into it that we are an adaptability creature, that there's going to be struggles, there's going to be things that we need to learn from. So how can we actually condition, and what we're going to talk about today. So, but first, I want to do a little bit of an icebreaker type of activity. So one thing, I'm going to have everyone just come up and we're going to just do a little like T-chart, okay? So we have this old self or current self. This is just like a recap from last week, right? As well, but then also kind of bridging into the new stuff. And then this is ideal self. So what I'm going to have you guys do is you're going to come up here and you're going to write out strengths, habits, and emotions. Just one of each. Okay? And I want to see if you see one that other people have, just circle it. Okay? If that's like one that you also resonate with, you don't have to create a new one. I just want to see what we're feeling and how similar we are to one another. For the old current self, and then the new one is the ideal self, attributes, again, habits and then behaviors.
Positive habits?
Yes.
Okay. And positive emotions? Or any emotion?
For the ideal self, what do you think?
No, for the old
Ah.
self.
Could be both, could be positive and negative. What for you currently?
Okay.
Who you are today? Let's do let's do the current self first. Let's not do old. Let's do current. That's more relevant. Okay. So you can just come up here and just write down 3. Doesn't have to be. It can be anywhere on this board, but just a strength that you have, a habit that you may like or don't like, and then an emotion that you may like or don't like. Because for you guys last week, you talked about the things that you're dissatisfied with. There's certain actions that you want to do. There's certain strengths that you like, and then there's also the habitual emotions, right? That we kind of go through on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. So that's kind of like where I want you to kind of reflect for a second as we just dive into this, because this will be a really good bridge and understanding for how to actually condition, because then we get to know what it is that we want to change and what it is that we're conditioning. Okay? Who would like to just go first? Anyone?
Sure.
Cool.
My handwriting is terrible, so.
All good. And if you guys already have an ideal self, just to kind of like speed that up, you can also write that down on this side. Sorry, what? You have anything for your ideal self?
Yes.
Okay.
Should I do that one as well?
Sure. Ease up though. So
Yeah,
just,
sorry,
just
if you
No,
know.
no, I'm still not sure.
Me too, I'm fine, sure.
Okay, I can go because I know all of mine, so
Go ahead.
okay.
Let's do them both.
um,
Discipline.
yeah, from habits. But this, sorry, what is this? Attributes?
Yeah.
What do you mean attributes?
What characteristics are you? Like, are
Okay.
you a positive person? Are you a really energized?
Oh, behavior. Okay.
What does
So
that say?
Funny.
Oh, funny.
We'd have to write it this way.
It doesn't matter where you put it.
If you have this, you will
Right,
write
yeah,
a little bit
exactly,
faster.
exactly. Boxing?
Yeah, it's the habit that I do. Yeah.
Oh, that's a great one.
Okay. I don't know.
Well organized. Oh, I like it. Passion.
What is opposite to not being committed? Sloppy? Uncommitted?
Inconsistent.
Inconsistent. Okay.
In bulk, like jars, reusable jars and stuff. They used to have like a free section closed bins. Yeah.
Wow.
But they gave it up because it was fairly not expensive.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's like, actually, it was really fun. You always feel like
Zoom into this tree.
old about something style.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And
You can also probably take your place somewhere to wash really well.
yeah,
Like laundry places, clean it the best way you can.
yeah.
Is it a word? Piloting?
What is it?
Piloting? Piloting.
Piloting.
Flying a plane.
Is that a habit? You like to
That's
fly?
ideal.
Oh,
Some
why not?
shooting for. Does it exist? Piloting? Or?
It's just called pilot.
Yeah.
Being
No, I know, but no.
Yeah, I think the bird is.
The bird-
piloting. I
Piloting.
feel like I've heard of that.
Yeah, that's clear. It's clear. Okay. And also for behaviors.
Oh, qigong, amazing.
Just started. Yeah, let's go.
Wow,
That's good.
it's a great one.
I think that's the ultimate mindset.
I had an interview with the guy who runs a qigong retreat business,
Yeah.
and he's extremely successful.
Talking about Tevya?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was supposed to see him yesterday.
Working with him on the 1st of October, I'm starting all his marketing.
Really?
Yeah, I've worked with him in the past now.
That's awesome.
Again. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You want to? You go. I'm still thinking.
I'm also kind of thinking still.
You guys should just circle the overthinking one.
Yeah.
Where is it?
You wrote it, right, Lauren?
Yeah.
Man, it's one of the worst ones.
You know, we have to get out of the own way, you know?
So, I don't know if meditation makes me overthink even more. It's like,
Interesting.
yeah, it's like, cause I'm always seeking for the break, and then I'm overthinking about seeking for the break, you know? And then when I meditate, it's like, it's a little break.
I know this
It's
is
like
die.
overthinking the overthinking as well.
There you go, yeah, it's a
Like
loop
layers
around.
to it.
Yeah, I was thinking about like spirituality, if it actually makes me a little bit more disconnected from spirituality, trying to seek spirituality, because I'm always seeking for something, you know?
This guy is the spiritual badass.
You can see on Tattooing Effect with it.
You know, to be
It's
good.
awesome.
Right.
Well, his
For you?
business is spiritual badass.
Oh, I saw the hat, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, that's my
A
brand.
good brand could be the spiritual boxer.
That'd be cool.
Spiritual boxer. Oh, there we go.
There is a guy actually on YouTube that I follow that he does that kind of stuff, which is really cool. Talks about a lot of
When you knock out all
You
your
mean
limiting
the
beliefs, you know?
Do you mean the monk?
German.
Is that his name?
No, he's a Filipino guy named his name's Ches Contere. He's really great. I really like his workouts and the things that he teaches as well. Like mentally.
Oh, I can.
I think the problem with like the whole spiritual realm is we shoot for perfection, and it messes us up more. I know people that have like stepped away because of like so many spiritual lives I know are just sad. Like we're all
Yeah.
sad. We're all suffering,
Right.
and we
I'm
forget
at that
about.
place.
Yeah, and I think we disappear from the world. We
Yeah.
there's disillusionment,
You
disconnect, and we're like the
everyone.
Matrix. We gotta, you know,
Yeah.
it's part of the
It's
world.
like the opposite of ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
Like, just people who don't care about spirituality are quite ignorant in a good way, and they're just in bliss. They don't care.
They live on
They're
their own
not
block, you
suffering
know?
as much as we are.
Yeah, that's it. That's why, what's her name? Kat Von D, the tattoo artist, she stepped away from spirituality and went into Christianity, and she was like, all the spiritual people I know are miserable.
Yeah.
Like, people are just going to church, living regular. I'm looking at people like drinking every day. I'm like, they're all happy. We're sitting there like crying every day, you know?
Exactly.
It's
No one's trying
wild.
to perfect, like you said, right?
Perfect.
Not do
Wellness,
this, not
perfect.
do
Yeah.
that,
Oh
not
my
do this, not do that.
Can't listen to rap, can't watch sports,
Right.
can't do this. I listen to rap.
Yeah, so
I always
yeah.
say I may be spiritually evolved, but I'm still Wu-Tang as fuck.
So my cousin, you know, he became super spiritual this year, and like I tried sending him some songs, especially like rap, you know, we're really into that. He's like, I don't listen to that anymore. I'm like, bro, come on. Like,
Seriously?
come on, bro, come on, don't do that. Like, there's like one big topic between us is rap. Like, I'm taking that away.
Yeah, I had a friend that, like, every word that came out of my mouth was like, nope, bad word, nope, you can't say that. I'm like, yo, that's a shit, nope, can't say shit.
Wow.
Yo, hello, no, it's Grand Rising. I'm like, bro, just stop, like.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Just be
Yeah, so there's too much knowledge can kind of just overwhelm you. And like, oh, what do I want to follow now?
And that's the thing, there are so many truths, there is no one truth. So
Exactly.
you need to test everything and figure it out what works for you, but not just
Yeah.
trying to follow everything, because then you, like with the diet.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
start following different things so you don't eat anything, because
Sure.
everything has its negative side, right?
Mm-hmm. That makes it so challenging.
Find what works for you.
Oh, let's see what we got here. So,
Not very solid.
oh, that kind of confuses me now. Is the red in the ideal self the one? Is that still ideal self? I was confused.
Yeah, I think it was just.
Okay, good to know. So we got optimism. What is this?
Courageous.
Courageous. Yup. Anxiety. And then disciplined. Huh. Interesting.
What is the one under sadness?
Under sadness.
On the red side.
Overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed. Oh, yeah.
I didn't even see sadness. Oh, overwhelmed. Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like a G, but it's
Yeah.
overwhelmed.
We're overwhelmed.
Yeah.
This is cool, right? So we got a lot of different strengths. I want to kind of pinpoint the big strengths that we have here. So this is courageous, right? The strength that we have, superpower. But also then that can be not disciplined sometimes. Even though courageous is kind of like grit, resilience, that will be the way, like what we were just talking about here with all these different opinions and different truths. When you have grit, you're willing to stay in the game and still know what you're aligned with. You know, you're still aligned with spirituality. It like makes sense to you. But now it's just about how long are you willing to stay with it to actually find the things that are your rituals. You know, your habits, your beliefs, your strengths. You know, you can have someone that's going to ridicule you on just all the words that you wanted to just even say hello, or, you know, all these sorts of things, or tell you that white rice is bad, brown rice is bad, on all these different foods are bad. You can't all of a sudden eat fruit too much. It's like, there's so many different opinions, right? But that's kind of keeping us in that current self, right? Especially with all the kind of expectation and judgment, and then these ideas that we listen to online is like, oh, there's this thing that's going to be even more helpful for me. I want to try this now. And so then we get out of what we know of, and then we start doing this thing, and then we kind of forget about that thing. And then we also just, like, I've experienced this before, where I've all of a sudden just completely forgot about even this was like kind of like my crutch. And then I try to do all these new things that are like the next level, right? But it's just brought me back to where I was, and I now need that same one to get me back to where it is. It's like there's a balance that I believe one must have, because when we look at leveling up and conditioning and reprogramming, we don't need a bunch of stuff. It's actually eliminating more things. You look at a garden, Eden's garden, you can say, whatever it is. You want to have this garden full of fruits, full of amazing vegetables, but these are this is the life that makes life so worth living. But the things that we're actually thinking is, oh, I need to put more of this fruit in, I need to put all of this fruit in, and what happens is like overcrowded. So much stuff in here. In reality, it's actually just picking out all the weeds and having it fine-tuned and being super clear and having space to breathe. And that's so hard because we're in a world now that is overstimulated with a whole bunch of crap and telling us so many things that we need more of and more of and more of. And the way to become happy is with more. I've been in this rut so many times myself because it's this idea of perfection, like we were just talking about, because we think that perfection is what will bring us to be feeling better. But perfection is impossible, right? I love this though, because this is the person that, there's a lot of things on here, right? So if I want you guys to kind of go up here and just circle one.
And the blue side?
Yeah, on the blue side.
I already, the second you said that, I was like, okay, I found mine. I was like, I really wanted to circle it. I felt it.
Because it's really
this one.
Oh
Very
yes,
important.
that's a great one. Laser focus and
Especially in Da Nang where I just want to eat all the time. I don't want to work. I just want to eat. Yeah.
For me it would be this one.
creating Muay Thai exercise. Yeah.
Without breaking a leg or a hand. Don't happen to me, that's why I stopped.
Boxing's better. I'm just kidding.
Seriously, I keep hearing that.
Okay.
For weight loss and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do it.
Boxing's great though for a lot of
Do you
movement.
go to a gym here?
I'm actually training with a guy who I met at the gym and he was really good on the back and was just like train me. But I've trained so many different places.
If you do find a good gym, let me know.
Yeah, I mean, for boxing and stuff, I know a guy that actually does group classes. He's really good, and he does also CrossFit classes with boxing. His name's Moxie. He's really good. You can check him out. You can pass the number.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
This guy I'm training with now, he told me he's not so interested in opening up to more people. But I told him if he does,
You
I'll
already did it,
know.
yeah?
Thank you.
But he's really good. I'm learning a lot from him. But Moxie,
You circled clarity.
Yes. Quite similar to mine.
I didn't circle one, but I really don't want to get up. But it's a strong sense of self.
A strong sense of self.
Yes, please, thank you.
Write this down. Make sure you remember this. That's the thing. It's like I was listening to this on a podcast. I don't remember which one it was, but it just it really resonated with me because it's seriously such a big part of conditioning. And when we want to be consistent, I was thinking about all these other things that I want to do, and I want to have this perfect morning routine and all these things, but I don't need all of this stuff. I just need to remove what is not serving me. So I'm glad that you looked at these. So it's exercise, moving your body, the physiology, freaking awesome. Honesty, I love it. Clarity, focused work, disciplined, strong sense of self, and certain.
expressing emotions, I think maybe also in the bottom right. I don't know.
Yes, expressing emotions. This was kind of faded. I see it now. Okay. What are your thoughts on this? Anyone want to share?
Very helpful.
Huh?
Very helpful not only for you to, I thought I knew what I wanted, but I was struggling. That's why usually I'm always the first to go up to something, but yeah, I was really struggling because I didn't know what to write.
Yeah.
And I was like, what am I put first?
Yeah.
And it's great to see other people's maybe struggles or brainstorming on the spot. That's very deep. So I love learning about all of these. So it was very productive for me. was a wake-up call in a way.
Yeah.
This kind of reminded me something I just did half an hour ago, right before I came here, which I wanted to share with you guys. I think it would be really helpful. There's an app called Attract, and I really like that app. Basically, you put a few different desires that you have, as many as you want, I mean, and those are goal reminders. A lot of the times we forget what we're striving for. You know, we go into this overthinking of, again, too much, what we want. And it takes like 68 seconds where you close your eyes and you meditate on it. It's not like a big meditation or anything like that, but you're picturing it, you're visualizing exactly how you want to be, whether it's all these circles that you put up there, and it kind of reminds you as well what you are desiring every day. Just a good reminder, puts you into that self, and it makes you feel it a lot more than not visualizing it. And I feel like this has a very similar impact when you're just writing it out there and reminding yourself, okay, that's what I want it to be.
Yeah.
Is
A
it?
day ago, yeah, or a week ago, or a month ago, or a year ago. It's a great reminder. So.
That's it, man. That's like, when we talk about conditioning, that's the biggest thing, is reminding yourself what it is you want. But then also, there's that aspect of what I just talked about, of how everything else can start to get clogged and say like, oh, I also want this, and I want this behind this, and then I want this. And that can kind of mess with your goal. It's like, the question becomes, how can I just be solely focused on having this one goal be so in tune and aligned with me that it's like my nature? Does that make sense?
But I find it also that we often strive, like, what do I want? What do I want? We always go, like something more and more and more. And sometimes we forget to enjoy what we have now and appreciate it. And I was swimming today in the morning in the sea, and I thought, okay, what do I want? And I'm like, at this current moment, I have everything I ever wanted. And I just want to sit and appreciate this moment, enjoy here and now, without putting on myself, oh, I need to become this ideal self, adding more things, just like, okay, now I enjoy this and let it be for a while. And then, when it's already kind of enough, then I can strive for something more. But I think it's so important sometimes just to stop and appreciate what we have in this moment.
So true. Every day there's like, I think one of the things that I wanted to do was have an absent session. Just to be absent and just to kind of like do nothing.
Because usually in that moment you understand you have everything.
Yeah.
You don't need anything extra.
Yeah,
of course, it doesn't mean that you should like, oh, I don't do anything, I have everything, and I don't care anymore. But it's just sometimes to relax and appreciate what we have.
That is so true. I start my day, first thing I do, I count my blessings. I spend half an hour, maybe not, at least 10 minutes in the shower just counting every single thing I'm grateful for. Thank you for all my, every cell, every bone, every tissue, one by one.
Wow, that's great.
Seriously.
Yeah.
If you can be grateful for small things,
you
open yourself up to bigger blessings.
Yeah, for sure.
That's one thing that changed my life.
I think the biggest thing we have to be thankful for is our health.
Exactly.
That's the
We're
biggest
never
one, yes.
thankful for that.
Because we often take it for granted, but when we lie down in bed, and it's kind of,
Even if you have pain here, can put you to make you cry. That happened to me. I'm not kidding. Something bit me. I was literally in tears right here.
Yeah.
So every piece of your body is.
I have an injury in my back, and 2 years ago I was in bed for 2 months. And I was just praying, I'll do anything, just let me be okay, and I'll be so happy if I'm okay. I'm not happy, guys, and I'm okay. I'm not so happy. I'm okay, but try to remind myself, man, I worked hard on my back. I feel much better. I'm stronger. I need to remind myself every day that when I was in bedridden, I was like, it's just terrible.
Just take it easy on the boxing, bro, okay?
Yeah, it's so funny when we're sick and then all of a sudden we're like, oh, what is it like to be healthy again? When we don't have that thing.
Dental issue or whatever.
Anything.
Yeah.
I think for me, looking at the current self list is just a reminder that we're all jacked up. Nobody's there, and we're all in this, and we're all going through our stuff, and that's something I was so good at reminding, when I was
more on my game. I kind of fell off over the last year. I got married, great life. I've been traveling around Asia, but still, like, I fell back, and I always remember to remind people, listen, we're all jacked up. We're all, everybody, even though you see people on Facebook smiling, no, it's all bullshit. Like, we're all, even successful, like everybody, you know? So I started falling into a rut of seeing people around, seeing people in the expat groups, and like, that they're successful, they're doing this and that, and then I just was like, I felt like I'm the only one again, you know, and but I realized, but not that I want to see you all jacked up. Trust me on that. I want to see you all in the best headspace, successful, but just a reminder that we're not alone.
You're saying we fucked up, huh?
So I guess if we were all perfect, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Live.
Yeah, I mean, alive.
Yeah.
We would be in another
Yeah.
universe, whatever.
We have a
Duality.
perfect form of us, yes. This is the imperfect form of us trying to reconnect with perfect form.
What were you thinking?
So I was reading today morning on Hinduism book, and it's very interesting because I did what you did. I did the yoga on the terrace. I received you not from my flat, but from the terrace. Then I went for a swim, and I thought, like, every day I'm complaining that my life is so bad, and I'm living in front of the sea, literally 30 seconds to the beach. So I decided, okay, like really need to see. But so what I read in this book, I have a bunch of books in my house, but I always buy a lot of books, so I cannot read them all the time. So I just pick up this book in the morning because I do like no phone, and I open it, and this was this Hinduist thing, and really it's related to what you were saying, because what it said there, why you depend your inner climate from everything what is happening outside. And like for the good leadership people, one of the works we should learning to do is to work on your inner climate and on your own emotions and on your own feelings, so they are, you know, not fluctuating all the time, depending, oh, there's nice weather, you're gonna be happy, oh, it's storm, you're gonna be so unhappy. So I was reading this and I was like, oh my god, like it so resonated today with me, because this is what I realized that I've been doing all over these years. And I thought, like, okay, I just have this, like, a goal similar, I think, to you said. And I thought, what if I'm not gonna look outwards, what is happening outwards, but what if I look at my life goals as, let me check what is happening within me, and can I go back to the peaceful inner climate, no matter if I have the followers, no matter if I'm gonna be successful. Let me treat everything what is happening, like, external, as a game to myself, like to check, oh, this is happening, what is happening inside me, not a game, but like, can I control myself inside?
Yeah.
So like something to look, oh, all these things is happening, so what is this inside me, and how can I learn, create, I don't know, somehow peace within, no matter what is the external circumstance, and not looking of the validation from outside, but like saying, oh, okay, this is not working the way I wanted. How can I learn how to still be peaceful within myself, even there is no result the way I would like to be?
I love what you said, and every time I hear when I have first been on the journey of, like, you know, working on myself, that in my head for some reason meant that when I work on myself, there's an end point. Like, I'm going to have it fully figured out. Like, we're all jacked up on this event or this emotion, the feeling that we can be totally bliss at all points. And I feel if we don't have the self-doubt, if we don't have shame, if we don't have these things, it doesn't allow us to show up to be even stronger. Because like I was talking about earlier, we're adapting. And so we need those things to get us down, to build that strength and to be better for others and ourselves. Because those are the things, like you said, we want to achieve the peace. And so the peace is being okay with the fact that this is a game to figure out of, yeah, I'm going to backtrack a little bit at times, and that's totally okay. Like, I'll feel like crap some days. I have to figure out how I can make that a game within myself, to be peaceful within that.
You need the bad to know the good.
Right.
Well, polarity.
Right.
So you need to have both sides.
Exactly. But we keep. I've been one to forget about that. You know, it's like the moments of when that comes in.
Right.
It's like, how can you remember that? So one thing when we look at, you guys want to take a picture of this? Anything?
Yes.
Because so when we look at conditioning, there are 4 pillars inside of what someone can do, like the characteristics, the traits, the pillars for what it is to be conditioned. Okay. Big board. So the first pillar, what do you think it is? What is the first step to change for anything?
Decide what you want.
Yeah, but what do we need to
To
decide?
figure it out where we are.
A little bit along those lines. It's awareness, right? Maybe I need a new white.
Acknowledgement.
Have a good one. Yes, I do. Let's see here. Why is awareness the most important thing in the world?
Because if you don't know it's there, you can't work on it.
Yeah, right?
You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, that's so
Awareness
true.
is also confidence. When you're aware, you're confident about it. It's just something that when you're not aware of something, it's hard to be confident about it, for example. It's hard, it's like a kind of a weird thing to say, but it is. You know, confidence comes from awareness about yourself, knowing who I am, what I am, how I am.
True.
But maybe say conscious.
Cautious, yeah.
Just be awake, just to see it, not to be blind from your own actions or other people's actions. Actually,
Right.
you don't distract yourself. You just look into your soul.
Mm. And you know, with awareness, it's like you guys were just talking about how you can become too aware almost, because that also can be a little bit of detrimental, where it's like you're overthinking about the overthinking. You know, the whole meditation thing of like that's a point where self-awareness can be disrupted. But I mean, yeah, self-awareness is important because it's just understanding the patterns, the beliefs, the behaviors, all these sorts of things. And I mean, I'm curious, like, what's been like, who has a really good way of developing self-awareness to be a healthy form of self-awareness? You don't have to put the label of healthy, but what has just been your way of developing self-awareness, if anyone would?
Listening to my inner voice.
Well, so it's inner voice, and what did you?
Observation.
Observation. Can you explain more?
Just take the time to like evaluate what's going on within, like why you think or feel a certain way, and like questioning it rather than just letting it happen. It's like observing that reaction.
Yeah.
Mistakes, you know, experiences. You go through things. You're like, oh, I don't want to do that. Then you do it again, and then until you learn the hard way, and then you just become,
Yeah.
I think things like even being here and coaching, you know, working with my coach and him helping me get to, you know, the things. And then because sometimes I'm 95% aware of the things I need to work on. I've been talking about it for years. I need to lose weight. I need to do this, you know. But then there's those other things that we forget. So I think coaching definitely, you know, having someone on the external, not fix it for you or anything, but helping you get there and with those aha moments, you know.
And I like what you said, because when you have that awareness, you know what you need to do. That's where the second part comes in for conditioning, and that is intention. So to have the correct intention, to know that also your values are aligned with your intention, because you could have the awareness to know that you need to go to the gym, or you need to start the business, or you need to do this action, and then you have this intention, but now are your values actually aligned with your intention, right? Do you know what I mean by that? Not really? We went through this thing last week, right, where we went through the values hierarchy of what's most important to you. And you will start, based on your values, your life, you'll have decisions that you choose and you make based on what your values and your your priorities are. So I will have the priority say, if my number one priority is family, then it doesn't matter if my boss or if someone wants to all of a sudden work with me, it's like, and I know there's a family trip or something, and I know I can make a lot of money, whatever it is. If my number one value is still family, then I'm going to take the correct action that is going to fall in line with that value. So that's what I mean, right? So your values need to be in line with your intention. That way you'll actually know, okay, do I really want to be successful? Okay, are my values aligned with being in this successful format, you know, the hard work in the gym, and like, it's my values of well-being and being healthy, right? So how can you then shift those values, right? That's where it's important to understand, like, where is it that is going wrong? Where is it going right? How can you mix it together? What's the good and the bad, right? So the thing about intention is we looked at the ideal self. That's where the forces of what we know of to be the intentional ideal self. So those are the things, like, we're first aware, and then we also are aware. So then now this becomes the intention. So after you have the intention, you need to know what practices you're going to do to make sure that the awareness comes into intention, then becomes the action. So what practices? So what are your rituals? What are your routines? What are your habits, your behaviors? There's something that I was looking at as well. What's your identity? You see, when we want to understand behavior, we're going to still behave the way based on what our identity is. So if we believe we are someone that is going to the gym, and like, I'm a person that wants to be healthy, I'm a person that can eat well and, you know, be disciplined. If we have that identity, then we'll also fall in line with that. That's like where ambition comes into place, because we have that sort of characteristic of the identity, right? But then the practice is like, what are those actual things that you're going to be doing, right? Because you have to have those in line. You have to know, okay, maybe, have you ever heard of a if-then statement? Right. Those can be very helpful. That's a way to practice, but I'll share with you the last one here, is reinforcing. This is where consistency comes into place as well, but it's like, say, so if then, right? So if I feel lazy, then I will walk. If I feel anxious, then I will dance. Something like this. There's a bunch of ways you can do this. I actually, say again?
That's great.
Yeah. These are called if-then statements, but I wrote this down, and I wanted to share this with you guys. There's ways that I like to get around myself. So if I'm unfocused, then I will exercise, do some sort of movement.
Yeah.
If I'm uninspired, then I will read. If I am upset, then I will do breath. I'll focus on my breath. If I'm burnt out, then I'll go into nature. If I'm tired, I'll go for a walk. If I'm lonely, I'm going to phone a friend. These are if-then things that is so helpful, so helpful to create, and to know, like, these are my rituals. These are the things that I know when I'm feeling a certain way, I can change my feelings, my state, into being something different. It's reminding yourself as much as possible that you can use all the awareness that you have of where you've been and where you are and who you want to become, and then you have that of who you want to become blend in with the awareness to become the intention. You have the intention, now how, right? Intention has to do with how and why. The how then becomes the practice. The practice then becomes the reinforcement by just doing the practice over and over. And like I was talking about earlier, it's like, we have to go with the flow. What's in your nature. If there's times where There's going to be situations you're falling down 2 steps. That's okay. It's like that's the way that the nature goes. It's supposed to change and do something different and test you. All these sorts of things to build you up to be stronger. And that's where if you have the right discipline and you have the practice of grit and resilience and persistence, you can tell yourself, okay, it's okay, right? You can give yourself that love, you can give yourself that space to be in that, and then reinforce yourself to get back into that state, that intention that you wanted.
Being consistent.
The consistency is not necessarily about being consistent on habits, but it's being consistent on your character. All these aspects, you know, we've heard of maybe you've heard of the phrase, you practice how you play, right? So where are you holding integrity? Are you being integral with yourself? I think that's the right word. Right? Are you holding integrity? Can you say that you're really truly being honest with yourself? And if you're not, that's okay. That's part of it as well. That's part of seeing where the awareness is, and then you come back into what is it that I want to be more honest with. I've had times where I think that, you know, I want to say I'm being honest, and I want to say that I'm doing the right things that I believe would be for myself, and then I want to have these practices, but then I get lost in between here, the practice and the reinforcement. Do you find that also? Anyone else?
Yeah, I would like to share something because I'm like always like interested in content for feminine and masculine energies.
Yeah.
So it was very interesting to me, like my feminine masculine energy is like totally messed up because I grew up with narcissistic mother who would be very young energy. The father was not there. So I realized that I felt like, oh, my life been so chaotic, so inconsistent, and I felt like, what if I start working on like my masculine energy instead of like working my feminine energy, and look like what is this healthy masculine that I think when I stay with the indigenous community in Colombia, so it's the man in there is taking care, he's consistent, he's disciplined, like the woman knows he's not going to run away with any other woman because totally family depends on this. So I felt like, oh, this is really something that is missing in my life, that I'm never committed to myself. Like whatever I say, I wouldn't follow. I maybe follow for a few months, but like not really like long term. So what I start thinking and imagining, like, what if I would have 2 alternate people inside me, and there is now this masculine, which is also part of me, which is trying to find the track of like taking care of me, this masculine, like, oh, you know, it's gonna be good for you, live in one place. Decides of staying in Da Nang, no matter what is happening externally, no matter the winter coming, like decide what are your goals, or be really consistent with exercising, with yoga routine, like this, I don't know, so I just wanted to share this with you because when I start thinking about myself, like we are all feminine and masculine, no matter we are woman or man, so we have both energies, right? So when I start like feeling, and when I move through the daily day, of course I'm not perfect, so I would be forgetting, but then I try to remember, and I just feel like, oh, just imagine there is a man with me. And so this man voice is like, look, is this gonna be good if you're just gonna pack your bags and suddenly you're gonna fly to India because the weather is not gonna be good in Da Nang, right? So this like, kind of like, I try to see like, oh, what if there is like maybe the father figure with me, or this masculine, like, you know, like that is guiding me, and just try to develop this for myself, just to commit and be like disciplined and well organized, and not just leaving the things in the middle when there's a tiny little thing, oh, I don't like, oh, I'm just flying away somewhere else, or like packing my bags. And so yeah, just wanted to share this with, because I know many times we can think like, oh, you are a girl, why would you work on your masculine energy? And I felt like, oh, actually that's the biggest thing I should be working right now.
I like that. I mean, I was talking to a friend about that yesterday, and masculine energy is very like doing and like achieving, and and taken care of. No, not necessarily taken care of, but like that's more of the feminine of like taking care of and like nurturing, and providing, yeah.
Protection.
Protection for more of the man, right? It's like guiding, leading, taking action, and then the feminine is like more with nurturing, caring, right? And so how can we all have a different mix, you know, if we look at like a bar, we all have a different mix of how much we have certain amounts inside of us. And there's also times where we can increase it to be more, you know, and with the intentions that we have and with the awareness that we can create. But then there's going to be times where you need to be more masculine. You're going to be, you know, there's going to be times you need to be more feminine. It's like, how can you start to balance that? And that helps also to know, like, for this part, to blending the practicing and the reinforcement. It's like, okay, what version of me would be able to do this? What version of me do I need to install? Do I need to use to make sure that I can practice I can practice on my intention? Because this is only when, you know, you don't have things go your way. And it's like, it's always going to happen. And just making sure that the practice is going to be reinforced when you know, step out of that.
Yeah, and I also thought that if you learn how to balance your energy, like I thought in my case, if I learn how to be more disciplined, more organized, then my feminine side can also have rest. Because I'm not having this anxiety all the time, like, oh, what's going on in my life? Yeah, that I am creating myself, because, oh, I have this other, like, secure me that, oh, no, nothing is going in your life because I'm here. So, like, oh, I'm here, I'm taking care of you, we are committed to this, so then you can lean in and you can, like, this is the way I was thinking about myself, of if there is this masculine taking care of me, then I can be more nicer to people and kinder, because I'm not having this constant, how do you say, insurance? No.
Reassurance, maybe.
Or I have reassurance and not like this lack of stability. Because if you don't have any stability in your life, I think a lot of, for us that we are used to like traveling a lot, and we change the countries, like I know you've been here longer, but like I've seen a lot of people in Danang, they are moving a lot. And so I thought, yeah, this life is kind of interesting, but it's also lack of stability. So how you can feel relaxed and like lean into yourself and your feminine and being creative and kind and just enjoy if you don't create the stability for yourself.
Right.
It's very interesting that you mentioned the masculine and the feminine, because I'm exactly on the opposite side right now, because all my life I was definitely more on the masculine side, and all I've known was fighting and working and hustling and protecting myself. So I was really out there protecting myself and very giving that strong energy, but now I'm in a different phase of my life, and that's where I just became aware and kind of fed up with myself almost. It's when you said you make mistakes or you get fed up with your old version. So you want to create a new one because you're saying to yourself, you have to evolve. So that's why we go to the next level and the next level and the next level. So it never ends and we never arrive, right? There's no destination.
Yeah.
And so it always changes, or you have to come back to the, like you said, the real you, your nature, right? And what is your nature? And for example, one quote that stuck to me was, it took a lot of violence for me to be this gentle right now. Yeah. So, and when I was aware, I'm so sick of just being in this fight or flight mode, and it doesn't help with me watching, movies about the war, or in general, it doesn't matter which war, because, my parents were soldiers, so my grandmothers were soldiers too, and they were fighting just like the men, right? And so I still have it in my genes, and it's really difficult for me just to fight it off, or just to say it's okay now, you're at peace. And that's why when I just went back and forth, like you said, we travel a lot, and There are a lot of people that are just like nomads and just going back and forth and never resting because they always want to, like I said, you always adapt, right? And you need to have it bigger, shinier, and someplace new. But we can also maybe just strive for less and just be content rather than happy all the time because of the dopamine. It's a different hormone. It's not dopamine, it's serotonin.
Yeah.
And just like you said, or oxytocin when you're in love. Yeah, but I think it's definitely a little more, definitely more on the calmer side, more peaceful side with clarity.
That's
And
great.
it's totally different than just being happy with dopamine. Oh yeah, that's nice. Just be content and at peace. It's different type of calmness.
Something that came up to me when you were sharing was like, there's times where, you know, talking about how you can just be okay with where you are, but then there's also times where you have some new intuition, new goal, or new thing that you want to accomplish, some desire, and then all of a sudden that becomes like your world and your focus. I'm sure all of you, you know, have that sort of thing. You know, it could be a person, it could be a material thing, it could be just like a certain achievement, right? And that's where it's so difficult because the journey is the process. It's like the actual achievement that you want. That's just the side effect of the person that you're becoming along that. Like the whole point of you even wanting that is because you feel it will give you a certain feeling by the time you get to that. And so by achieving that, you get to experience the real feeling of it. But you can also feel that today.
Yeah, can I interrupt you?
Please.
Sorry, it's just because this is the way I felt today. Like when I did my yoga routine and then I went for a swim and I was like, you know what? Like I'm already this person because I'm already like much more disciplined than I was like a month ago, right? So this is also something like I was kind of also feeling like, oh, it's like never ending process. But sometimes we can make it like maybe the goal not so big, but just like simply something like, oh, I did like my routine every day this week. Like even if not every day I did 1.5 hours, but like one day I had when I only did 10 minutes, but I just did it. So I felt like, I was talking about this also with my friend, that every time she like sticks to her goal and she just does it even for 20 minutes, it feels so good inside.
Yeah.
So I realized it like today morning, I was like, oh yeah, I actually screw a lot of this week. But yesterday I managed to go sleep early and today I did so many things in the morning. So I felt like, okay, so it's fine. It doesn't have to be like so big because many days I feel like I'm so worried, like I screw myself in so many ways, like how I'm going to recover my life. So I feel like, oh, sometimes it's just good to say, I'm already recovering my life just by practicing yoga 1.5 hours every day in the morning, you know, like it doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm not gonna sort it out like so fast. I thought, okay, let me just focus on the small things and maybe after I will figure it out like the bigger things as it goes.
Yeah, please share, Joe.
I think like for me, as someone who menstruates, I find that like my relationship to practice, I think it has to look less like a relationship with consistency and more of just like a relationship with the idea of it itself. Like if my goal is to have a morning routine every day and maybe it like looks like a couple things, even if I don't do it, but if I like think about it, it's also a kind of a relationship with that practice. Because I also think when thinking about consistency and reinforcement as like someone who has already within them like a natural cycle, my relationship with consistency looks very different. Like, so I think that there's something worth looking at there, especially like within these like masculine and feminine energies, and being a feminine person too.
Yeah, that's the intention, right? When you just even think about it, that's like the first step, you know. And it's like one of the ways to become a person to go to the gym is just to go in there for 5 minutes and then leave. Doesn't even matter if you work out. It's just like
Yeah.
You can say that.
That'll do. That'll do.
That's true.
No, it's just
No, I
like
know, I know. It's the first step.
Yeah.
It's the first step.
it's the first.
Even just putting on your gym shoes
Yeah.
and going outside,
It's like
and turning back
Put
around
them on
and
and
being
take
like,
them off.
but for real.
I've been in the gym in my bed.
But that's actually true. The hardest thing is to get there. I did the same thing yesterday. I looked at the watch. I'm like, I don't have much time, so maybe I should skip. But I was like, no, I'll still go there. I went there. I did 30 minutes, but it's still better than nothing.
Yeah.
And once you are there, you're like, okay, I have 3 minutes. I need to do everything. You know, you're more focused instead of I have a lot of time, so I'll just chit chat with someone or just walk around or whatever. No, you do the thing, and it's like in 30 minutes you can do much more than you think.
Do 5 push-ups,
Yeah.
5 squats, 5 whatever, and just, every day, be consistent,
Oh.
grow.
You will be so changed. Your body will completely
You know,
change
it's
too.
like
But-
1% rule, right?
Yeah.
One more.
But yeah, it just depends on because we can get influenced by what other people have, and like the influence of time as well will come and put this pressure on us, saying like we need it quicker because of we all have this lingering in the back of our minds that there is not enough time and we're going to die soon. Right? And this is just lingering just somewhere in there. That's why we have the fear, right? That's why there's always fear just creeping in. It's like, I want you to do this faster and now as soon as possible so we can have something to live for, and so we have a life that is meaningful, whatever it is. There's always this idea that there's this thing creeping up behind you. But when you were talking about what you were
Sorry,
saying
but I have a
something.
question because I think you also mentioned something that we don't always have to be so consistent, right? That it's also sometimes okay just to lean in and
That's what I would say. But just
yeah, because I think it's also important. Maybe you really have some day that you want to be consistent, but I do once a week that I do nothing. I just slouch on the sofa literally and watch comedy. Because I feel like I got so overwhelmed with all these things I have to do. So now the Monday became my day that I can do shit. Literally, I said it to myself, Monday I don't have to do anything.
And also when you
Like,
look
if
at
I-
like
if
your
I
ideal
start on-
self.
So it's very interesting because I felt like the last Monday when I did it, of course I went out in the afternoon with some friends, but I thought, this is gonna be so bad because I'm not doing anything. But I felt so much better the next day. I was ready to go, and I thought this one day of not having to do anything, and this is also kind of what you mentioned, be just in feminine energy, just think maybe about the things you have to do, but okay, you don't do every time, it's also fine to have rest, or I don't know if I understand
Well, I
you
think about
well, or-
yeah, no, for sure. I think about our relationships with people, right? Like maybe one day you talk to them on the phone for 3 hours, and the next day you don't see them at all. But when you see something funny, you think of them, and then the next day you guys hang out. You have a slumber party. It's staying in relationship with the thing, whether or not what that looks like.
It's also the event that you were saying, if you feel burned out, go to nature, or just watch TV or whatever.
Yeah.
So actually, it's good to have one day off. In Judaism, you say Shabbat is a day that you don't do nothing. You don't watch TV, you don't, be on your phone, you just go for walks, you go to synagogue, you pray a little bit, and you chill with the family.
No electricity whatsoever. It's so
Don't do that though.
Yeah, modern society.
Each their own with their Shabbat.
I think it's going back to the spiritual perfection and the wellness. It's the all or nothing. When we dive in, we dive all in. We're like, okay, 7 to 7:15, I'm doing breath work. 7:15 to 8, I'm doing qigong. Then I got to work out. Then I got to do this. Then I got to do this. I had a year ago, and I was talking to my coach about this. We had a call where we organized my day, and I'm terrible with organization. And literally every hour was filled up. And I looked at the calendar, and I'm like, fuck that, I can't. This is it's overwhelming. So then we made another calendar that it was just so many openings throughout the day. You feel like doing this. And then we had our call the other night, jumping back into it, and he's like, look, you don't have to do the same practice every day. You don't have to go qigong to breathwork to this to that. Even if you just do qigong and then the next day you're not feeling it, you want to do a little breath breath work, it's fine. Just a little something, you know. And I was talking to my wife, and we have a travel channel. I made a video because we started going to the beach at 5:30 in the morning, doing a little breath work, getting in the ocean. So I'm like, non-negotiable. Every morning, 5:30, 2 days, done. You know, but we're going back. We just had a little hard few days. So, you know, and I told my wife, I'm like, we don't have to do it every day. Like, it's also important to just enjoy life. Like, go out and listen to music. We're not drinkers, but to go to a bar and listen to music, there's so much here. And if we're out till midnight, you know, to wake up at 5:30, we sleep in, and then at 8, do some qigong. You know, it doesn't have to be so, because that's what's killed me this whole time. I used to have,
So rigid.
yeah, I did Panchakarma in India, which was like started my journey. And I was like my college weight. I was every morning, like I was waking up like 3 in the morning automatically doing stuff. Then I started traveling and it fell off. And you know, and I know how important the daily routine is, but it's just too much, especially to start. You can build up to it. You know, if there are people who do have 3 hours, and that's their thing. You know, it's not. It may be my thing in the future, but right now, just start with something. You know, it's not the overwhelm, because we all try to do everything, and then we do nothing.
I actually super much can relate to this, and I remember I was also at some point like had super strong routine, and I felt like coming to masculine and feminine energy, I was getting into so much masculine energy, like everything is packed on according to the time, that really took so much energy. And I was like, okay, women, they are more like according to the cycle, and we need to listen to the body. It's the same as with the exercise practice. There are phases in a month when I can go do boxing or running or whatever, but there are phases where I could do just yoga. And for me, when I was listening to this, I came to probably a very strong realization that like I'm perfectionist, and I'm also often afraid to fail. So I just need to think very well how to structure my day or what to do, and kind of it becomes a sentence. And now when I was listening, I understood that it's just a decision, it's not a final sentence, and I can adapt it and adjust it. And this if-then sentence also helps a lot, that okay, if it fails here, or if I don't feel this way that I do everything strictly, I can do something else. So it's much more flexible and gives this freedom and this like
creativity.
Creativity, feeling your body, what you feel. Okay, if I don't feel like, you know, doing 1 hour of gym today, maybe I can just go for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or dance in front of the mirror or whatever. And it gives so much lightness. You still keep consistent, you still have your intention, but it's just not that, you know, like frustrating where you afterwards you punish yourself because you didn't do something, and then you failed, and then you're like, okay, I'm hopeless, I'm not doing it all because 3 days out of 5 I failed, you know.
And sorry.
I was gonna say, it's so easy to like misinterpret consistency as like repeating the same day over and over again. That's impossible. When have you ever repeated the same day? Never. And you never will. So like, why are we trying to repeat the same days and be consistent? It makes no sense.
I was also
it's delusional.
I was also reading something that, like, for example, they say like morning routine is the most important, right? And people have this in their mind, and then it often happens that if you didn't have this morning routine, then you kind of get disappointed with yourself and you don't do anything. But there is another type of people who just know that, okay, if I don't do in the morning, maybe I'll do in the daytime, maybe I'll do in the evening. They are not so strict, and then they don't put so much pressure on how important is your morning. So, and according to the research they did, those people achieve much more because they don't put this pressure that, okay, I failed in the morning, so it's over, my day is ruined, and now I can't do everything because I didn't follow my routine. They do something in the evening, they do something wherever they have time, and they achieve much more than putting this pressure.
I'm that type of person. If I miss the morning gym, there's no way in the evening.
Exactly, because you have like this, like,
it's my mind.
Exactly, morning, I failed, that's it.
Yeah.
But you can do it in the evening.
It's a belief.
Like when you say this, that it's flowy, this is like feminine energy, which is with the moon and water, right? So when you have these thoughts, you can say, hey, I think there is some issue with my feminine energy. Maybe I can today be feminine and just relax and not even go to the gym.
Yeah, now that we just opened
Because
this.
for me it's same, like I would put so many things on my list, but what I also learned to do, okay, I'm gonna do this in the morning, but in case if I will not do this in the morning, I can still do this in the evening, right? And sometimes I also plan some things like yesterday and I was like, oh no, actually I really want to do this activity in the evening, but I also feel very tired and I just feel I need to sit on the street, have some street food and not talk to anybody and not do anything. So I thought I can do this activity maybe some other day, and today I'm just gonna listen to my body because the day was so full of activities. So I also feel like, especially that Danang, I think it's great because you can find everything what you're looking for. At least I found so far here. But on another hand, it's like, you start doing this thing. That's why I think it's so nice the session you did today to remind us it's about not doing all of these things, but pick up the things that really resonate, like with your heart, really resonate with your soul. This is also you, Greg, yeah? Yeah, nice to meet you, by the way. So it's also, I think, what you say that this, like the tendency to be in young energy, do this and more, and like this is terrible. Like anytime I try to do this with myself, same you cannot follow. Because it's so unnatural, and the whole planet is in very young energy. Even if you look at the city, it's very noisy, the motorbike, everybody's so fast. So, it's just good maybe.
Slowing down.
Yeah, even me, like the way I speak. That's why I really like to teach yoga. I'm like speaking very slow, totally different vibes.
I have a couple of mantras I've been telling myself that have been helping. And I mean, again, not to put pressure on this specific mantra, it just helps me feel better. One is, I don't care what people think of me. I think that's one that's very important, just to reaffirm yourself. Even if you made a mistake or you feel awkward or embarrassed, just embrace it. Awkwardness is fun. It's laugh about yourself. It's cool. And the other one is, I'm always in a good mood. You don't have to put pressure on always having to be in a good mood. But the second you say that, something switches. You're like, even if you're in a bad mood, you just say, I'm always in a good mood. And you smile at the mirror. You go here, especially in Vietnam, people always smile at you, especially Vietnamese people.
So great.
Just smile, say hi, talk to the little kid, whatever. It doesn't matter. Just feel that, The last thing I'd say is that I'm always with my earphones in. I'm always like just listening to music, and obviously music is like, happy, sad, happy, sad. I love music, but just disconnect a little bit more. Just sit down, try to talk to someone next to you. If they don't want to talk, I don't care what they think of me. I try to talk, all good, Just have that conversation. You never know if you meet a nice person or not, but also talking is good therapy, it's a good thing, so.
We just need to learn Vietnamese.
True.
Because they all want to talk.
It's also the whole have to get to thing, Like we look at fucking self-care as a chore. Like I'm looking at yoga, exercise, like that. These are the dopest things in the world. Like I'm gonna feel better. I've experienced it. Yet I'd rather lay on the couch and do nothing, sleep until 9 or 10. Where we get to do. Think about how many people are not. I mean, we're here. Like this is fucking amazing. This is surreal. Like we're traveling. I don't know where all you guys are at. I assume most of you are not just on holiday. You're moving around or living here. Like that's crazy. Like we get to experience this. People are sitting in cubicles all day, every day. Most people hate their lives.
But they can't change it.
And they can't, and they won't, and they won't, and it's a lot harder when people have families, they have mortgages, they have this and that. Like, people make, a lot of people in the spiritual communities make like it's so easy, and leave America, just move here, where they have mortgage, they have kids, school, like they're in the mainstream. It is what it is. That's their life. We have this chance more, and especially to inspire other people that can do this, and we get to do this. I get to do, even though I have like 4 jacked up discs, I have sciatica, so that's why I'm doing Muay Thai, just private training. Like I get to do that. My wife's cousin is paralyzed. Like he can't get up and do Muay Thai. There's people who can't do breath work. They have lung, there's people that can, and we look at these beautiful yoga, and it's funny. For me, it's like worrying what other people think, and I usually don't. I'm so good at not giving a fuck. I've developed that, and then like going to the gym or doing yoga as a beginner, and I'm not a beginner at yoga. Like I have some issues, but like I'm not a beginner. But I look at And I even tell my wife, I'm like, everybody started as a beginner, you know? Like, I looked at jacked up dudes in the gym. I'm like, I gotta walk up in there just like lifting the bar, you know? And barely lifting the bar, you know? But it's okay, you know? We gotta start somewhere. And to shift that have to do this to get to do this, you know? It's a beautiful thing. They're not chores. They're things that just better our lives. Like,
Have more fun.
what?
Have more fun.
Yeah, have
Be
fun
more
with it. And I also tend to compare myself too. I'm like telling my wife, the most successful people the most successful people wake up 3 to 5 a.m. You know, I look at Gary Vee and Tony Robbins. Like they've developed that, right? And maybe I'll get to that practice.
That's the strength that I was talking about earlier, right? It's like you got that they'll fall back sometimes. They also were in the beginning of phases and not waking up at 5, and they had the days where they woke up at 11.
And I'm sure still now they have their days, but they don't show it.
But that's the thing, we don't see everything. We see what they want us to show, and they show like how they have discipline and structure. We don't know what's happening behind the scenes.
Of course.
And yeah, they are successful. We also can't check if they are happy, if they are,
Right. What is success?
But again,
financially successful, but what about all the other things?
exactly.
Right?
And their goals are totally different. Like trying to build like $1 billion business, which
Yeah,
requires a certain level of focus, you know?
And then you need to ask, do you
Whereas like,
I don't
want
want
to
to
want
be
It's like,
I don't want to be a billionaire.
Exactly.
But then even for me, like when I was like years ago so consistent, I had a ton of clients, I had a big community online, you know, I show my vulnerability. I make sure people know, like I said before, I'm just as jacked up as you guys are. I have my shit too. I said, if you like find a healer or a coach that actually acts and says, I have it all together, I'm perfect, walk away.
Yeah.
Like, they don't, you know, and to pretend that, I mean, obviously Tony Robbins isn't going to go on and be like, I'm having a bad day, I need you guys up, you know, but.
I feel like that's so much pressure too, though, like that he has to like show this face.
Yeah, for him it's a
he
little
comes and he
different.
starts crying. I'm having a bad day. It's gonna happen.
He's walking across the stop. But yeah, I think it's a, like for me, it was always important to show my vulnerabilities, to really be authentic and
honest.
that's it.
Honest,
like
yeah.
honest. Like, hey guys, I'm messed up. I can't do this. You know, I'm not gonna force stuff. I'm not gonna force content. I mean, it's yeah. So I think that's it's okay.
You know,
And that's again to remember that we are still humans. We are not robots who have the routine. And just to add what she was saying, that we can have this routine, and it's all comes from our like analytical mind. Or I need to do this, that, and this. But we should remember that we still have feelings. We still have soul, which knows much more than our brain. And sometimes, like you were saying, you know, I just want to sit in the street and eat street food, and maybe that's where you're gonna need that. I don't know, your future best friend, or you will get the best idea or something like that. And sometimes we need to get into this, you know, feeling and emotion instead of the structure that we came up from our rational mind. And then, you know, okay, you never know how it's gonna happen.
Sure. The best things are unexpected.
Exactly. Spontaneous, like how you feel sometimes.
You mentioned two guys, you mentioned Greg, I think Greg mentioned not comparing yourself in, what's your name again?
Eli.
Eli, you mentioned about mantras. For me, one of the things that really changed my life was understanding, realizing to stop comparing myself with others. The only competition is the version of you of yesterday. Your goal today is to be just 1% better than yesterday. Once I understood that, just like you, if I stopped caring about other people, I spent the first half of my life just doing things for others. Putting myself last. Now, so you know, it's enough of that. Because the most important person in your life is you. That doesn't mean that's being selfish. It means being altruistic. You need to be the best of you so you can help others. Once I understood that, things started to take off.
I had that perspective too, and I started to like have this like 1% rule, and then I would get kind of upset when I felt like I wasn't even doing the 1% for me that day, you know. And that's the thing though, it's like we gotta just check off one box. That's literally just 1%, and when it really comes
be anything, whether it's one call, one push-up,
sometimes it's just waking out of bed.
I have one non-negotiable, which is so easy. It's Abhyadanga oil, which is from Ayurveda. Like, this is one thing I promise myself, no matter what's happening, I'm doing it. It's easy because it's like you just have to rub the oil on your whole body, and if you have no time, you just rub the oil before you have the shower in the morning on your neck and on your feet. and that's it. And because it's so simple, like you cannot screw it. Like if you have no time, it literally takes like 3 minutes. Rub the oil on your neck and rub the oil on your feet, and then go and have a shower. So I wanted just to share this because sometimes.
By the way, we have like less than like 5 minutes. Just
this one thing wanted to say, because I know if I do it, it takes me so little time, but it's this 1% that is getting, to my better health and my well-being. And another thing, I also think we have so many goals and we have to do, but I feel so happy when I go dancing salsa. And even that day, I know I'm not gonna wake up next day at 5:30 in the morning, but I say to myself, this is really worth it, because the joy I get from that moment, I'm feeling so happy. Nothing gives me this joy. Not yoga, no breath work, no nothing. So I think maybe look when you were really enjoying your life. Maybe playing guitar, singing a song, or something you do with your friends. And try to do it like once a week. Some activity that has, nothing to do, just enjoying. Just enjoying. I really don't know what you can do, but something, of course, like not playing on your phone, something that is connected with. Yeah, that's all I would say.
Oh, that's amazing. But I love what everything we've talked about today, and I think one thing that I was just like thinking about, maybe you guys can think about, is I was introduced to this idea of a kind of like what you can do is like a 4-section routine. So you have routine 1, routine 2, routine 3, routine 4. Ideal routine, burnt out routine, moody routine, or high energy routine.
Inspired, yeah, I was gonna say there's some inspired routine.
Yeah, it's like the routine you need to make sure like it'll get you that, because you're this is your ideal routine. That's like the one that I know I'm gonna go to. It's like, okay, but today I'm feeling kind of like moody, or I'm like kind of burnt out, I'm just like, I'm not feeling it. I'm gonna go to this routine and do this. You can kind of change it up, right? You can have multiple different ways to go about it.
Like a menu.
So what routine? Like the ideal, moody, and the other ones you were saying?
I just said ideal, burnt out, moody, and then like inspired.
I mean, you can make these specific for whatever you go through.
Right.
Like,
Just
kind of observe yourself and notice what different moods you wake up in. Is
really good homework for
That's
everybody
good.
to talk about.
Yeah.
Honestly, man, that's great.
Yeah.
And can I say one quick thing? I saw this video and I've seen it come up a lot. This guy said, a way to wire your brain easily. There's 3 steps. Brush it. I'm sure some of you have seen it. Brush your teeth with the opposite hand. Say, I love you in the mirror 10 times. And 25 deep breaths, right? Do the breaths, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He said, if any of you comment that it didn't work after 21 days, I'll give you $100. He says nobody's ever commented it didn't work. It's a guaranteed 21 days rewires your brain. So I started the other day, fell off, started again today. So I'm gonna do it.
There's your ideal routine right there.
I also do something super weird. I want to share. Please don't think, but this is really weird. So I usually don't have photos, but when I was in Egypt, I had to do like a photo of myself, and it's a really cute photo. So what I started to do, it's like, I'm just like, oh, te quiero very, I love you very, you're so cute, and I'm kissing the photo. I know, so super weird, but I really didn't know how can I like have more loving thoughts towards myself instead of thinking like, oh my god, like I screw my life, I self-sabotage myself, like how I'm gonna recover from everything what I did. So I'm just taking this photo, and I'm kidding you not, it's really weird, sounds weird, but when I do it, the way if I would have a small puppy, like if you have a small puppy, you would be like, oh my god, it's so cute. So just like taking this photo as if I'm the small puppy and just like kissing it and saying these weird things. I maybe do it for 1 minute. I know it's very weird, but if you have a photo, try to do it and just see how does it feel if you do it.
I mean, it's the same as looking in the mirror and telling yourself, I love you.
It's like
I don't know, because you can kiss the photo and you can be like more having it in your hands, like
Precious thing.
Yeah, because I tried with the mirror, it wasn't really working, but like photo, especially if you look really nice on the photo, like you have a cute smile.
Or you can just buy a puppy, that helps too,
Or even better.
Because in the mirror, if I wake up in the morning, I don't look so good. Like I feel like I'm
even better. Even
You guys, I got to. We have to wrap up. There's a class that starts now. I really, really appreciate the time that we spent here. I love the discussion that we had, that we created from this. I hope that you took a lot out of this. Today, also in the evening, we're having the weekly Wisdom and Wins meetup. This is just an online thing that I do with the community, just like a weekly wins kind of reflection and wisdom and what we learned, what we had challenges with. And it's a way to just kind of like look back at the week. And you're free. This is at 7:30 p.m. tonight. If you want to join, feel free. Yeah, thank you so much for coming. Leave your donation on the hat or in the helmet or on the plate next to the Buddha. Thanks so much. I'll probably talk about digital social media next week. So
I got no cash. You accept Bitcoin?
yeah, I love Bitcoin.
I'm joking.